Hi everyone, good day. Welcome back to our next video. In this video, we will discuss about functions in C. Let's get started. What is a function? A function is a self-contained block of code that performs a particular task. Till now, we have discussed many programs. We have given the set of statements inside the main function. So we have used only a single function, which is the main function, which performs the given task. When the program is small, it is okay to write all the set of statements inside the main function. But when the program becomes complex, it is very difficult to write everything inside the main function. So complex programs may be broken into a smaller module called subprograms or subroutine. This strategy is said to be modular programming. The advantage of modularizing a program into function is that it enables code reuse, it enables better readability, it helps in information hiding, it improves the debugging and testing, it improves maintainability, and it helps in reduction of code redundancy. Functions are classified as built-in or library functions and user-defined functions. First, we will discuss about predefined or built-in or library functions. Predefined or library functions are not required to be written by the user. It has been already developed. Say for example, functions like printf, scanf, string length. So these are all examples for built-in function. A library function needs to be declared before it is invoked or called in the program. The declaration of library functions are available in their respective header files. To make these declarations accessible in a program, the corresponding header files are included. For example, the declaration or the prototype of scanf and printf is available in the header file stdio.h. Hence, the header file stdio.h is included in the program when the user wants to call or invoke printf and scanf function. There are many library functions like standard input-output functions, stdio.h header file. Say for example, functions like printf, scanf, they come under this stdio.h. Mathematical functions, the header file uses math.h. For example, you can have functions like POW, power, square root, SQ, RT. So these functions comes under this mathematical functions. String handling functions like string copy, string length, etc. So the header file uses string.h. Functions are the functions that are developed by the user at the time of writing a program. Main function is a specially recognized function in C. Every program must have a main function to indicate where the program has to begin its execution. As I already told you, all the possible code can be written utilizing a main function, but it has few problems like program becomes too large and complex, so the task of debugging, testing and maintaining becomes difficult. If a program is divided into functional parts, then each part may be independently coded and later combined into a single unit. These subprograms, called functions, are much easier to understand, debug, and test. The three elements that are related to the user-defined functions, these are the very important aspect of defining a function. So they are function declaration or function prototype, function definition, function call or function invocation. Let's discuss about these three elements in detail. Writes a function other than main function, the three elements function declaration, function definition and function call is mandatory for the proper working of the function. Let us first discuss about the function declaration. All identifiers need to be declared before they are used. As function names are also identifiers, it should be declared. So syntax for function declaration, return type, function name followed by the parameter list. Say for example, int add of int x comma int y. So terminate the function declaration with a semicolon. So here the return type in this example is integer. The function name is add. And the parameters, we are passing two parameters which are of integer type. The variable name for the parameter is x and y. So here the name is optional. Even if you don't specify the name, it is okay. Only specifying the data type is also sufficient. So like int, add, int comma int. Close the parenthesis and terminate the header with a semicolon. So we otherwise call this as a function prototype. We say that we are going to write a subfunction. The name of the function is add, where we are going to pass two parameters which are of integer type, and the return value from this function is going to be an integer. So we are declaring this information. There are four different ways of declaring a function. So it can be with no return type, no parameter. Say for example, the same function you can write like this: void add of. You can write like this. So when you do not have any return type, you specify it as void. Void means there is no value, so we do not return any value. Next is with return type with parameter. So this is the example for return type with parameter. Int add of int x comma int y. The third way of declaring is no return type with parameter. Say for example, void add of int x comma int y. The fourth way of declaring is with return type no parameter. Say for example, return type is int, function name add of. So we do not have any parameter. So these are the four ways of declaring the function. Next is the function definition. This is also known as function implementation. So already in function declaration, we have given the prototype of the function, how our function will be defined in the program. So in function definition, actually we are giving a set of statements or the task that has to be performed is given inside this function definition. Every function definition consists of two parts: header of the function and body of the function. So this is the syntax for function definition. We have the header as well as the body. The first line is known as the function header. The statements within the opening and closing brace is said to be the function body. The header of a function consists of return type, function name, and parameter list. Unlike function declaration, the header of a function can only have complete parameter declaration. The variables declared in the parameter list will receive the data sent by the function call. The return type and the number and the types of parameters in the function header should exactly match the corresponding return type and the number and types of parameters in the function declaration. It is not mandatory to have the same names for the parameters in the function declaration and function definition. The header of a function is not terminated with a semicolon. In the body of the function, the set of statements are enclosed within the braces. The body of the function can have executable and non-executable statements and return statements. In the non-executable part, the local declaration of the variables can be done. In the executable part, the statement that performs the task is returned. The return statement is used to return the result of the computation done in the function to the calling function, or to return the program's control back to the calling function. Element is the function call or the function invocation. To use the function define, we need to invoke it at appropriate place in the program. This is called function call. The syntax for function call: function name followed by the parameters. It is similar to your function prototype, except you need not specify the return type as well as you need not specify the data type for the parameters. Say for example, add x comma y. So here add is the function name and x and y are the parameters that needs to be passed. The function call should be terminated by a semicolon. We have four types of prototype for defining a function. Let us see an example for function with return type and with parameter. So this program writes a subfunction add to perform the sum of two numbers. The three important elements of a function are the function declaration or function prototype, the function definition, and the function call. So the function declaration or prototype is given in this statement. So the return type from the function is integer. The function name is add. We are going to pass two parameters, a and b, both are of integer type. So we have initialized the values for a and b as 10 and 5 respectively. Next, we need to define the function. So this is the syntax. You are giving the return type, the function name followed by the parameters. So this is the header. The statements, the executable and non-executable statements are enclosed within the braces. So here, this is called as the function definition. The parameters in the function call are known as the actual arguments, and the variables declared in the parameter list in the function header are known as the formal parameters. So in this program, the variables a and b are the actual arguments. The variables x and y are the formal parameters. The function call is given here. So it is assigned to a variable c because we are returning an integer value from the function definition. So we are assigning it to a variable c so that we can collect the return value. The syntax for function call, it's the function name followed by the parameter list. So add a comma b. Only when you call the function will be invoked and it will be executed. So if you have defined the function and if you have not called the function, the particular function will not work. So if you want a function to work, it needs to be called. So after the execution of the function call statement, the program control is transferred to the called function. The execution of the calling function is suspended and the called function starts execution. So here we pass the parameters for a and b, values for a and b, 10 and 5. So that will be mapped to the function definition. So the parameters and the data type should be the same in the definition, the call and the declaration. So it will be passed and the control is given to the called function and the statements are executed here in this called function. So sum is equal to x plus 5. You'll add 10 plus 5 and you are returning the value 15 from this function definition. So that will be collected in the variable c and it will print sum is equal to 15. So after the execution of the called function is complete, so we have the return statement. The program control returns to the calling function and the calling function resumes its execution, which means that it goes to the next statement printf and it prints the value of the C. So this program illustrates function which has no return type with parameters. So this is one of the prototype, no return type with parameters. So we are using the same add function here. You can see the function declaration. We have specified void, which means that we will not have any return value from the function. Function name is add, passing two parameters a and b, which are of integer type. We are making a function call add a comma b. So we have just called the function and we have not assigned it to any variable. We have just called the function a comma b. The control goes to the called function. So here the function header, you can see the return type is void. If a function does not return any value, then the return type of the function should be specified as void. Function name followed by the parameters int x and int y. So they are the formal parameters. You do the computation, sum is equal to x plus y, and you print the result here. We are not returning anything from this function. So we do not have a return statement. We do not return anything from the function. Let us run the program. So you can see you will get the sum is equal to 15. In this video, we discussed about functions in C. In the next video, we'll discuss about passing arguments to functions in C. Hope this video was useful to you. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. We will meet in the next video. Thank you.